He said there was another guy sitting next to my mother, and he had just come back from Vietnam, and he said, "If you talk to her again, I'm going to kick your ass." He literally said, "Now that's toxic as hell. Don't get me wrong, very toxic." But it got him a full family and a couple of kids out of it, right? It got him me, and I think I've been a pretty good asset to my dad. I bought him a car and helped him pay off his house, all that stuff. So he got his assets in life, financial, emotional, and otherwise, because he had intentionality. He had clarity, a purpose. So I ask you this question. I say to you, in what areas of your life do you have clarity of purpose? What areas are you intentional? What areas of your life are just non-negotiable? And that's something you're gonna have to ask yourself about. Because if you let a situation or a person or a barrier knock you off your perch easily, it's gonna be very hard for you to do anything or build anything solid because you're not even approaching things from a solid perspective. And this principle applies to business. This principle applies to relationships. This principle applies to socioeconomic politics, every single issue. The world doesn't really give you much if you're not consistent and intentional and solid about what the objective is. Now let me move on. Let's get back to this topic of older men and younger women. So let's get some healthy reasons why younger women might be attracted to older men. According to the research, the emotional maturity piece, I've seen that to be very important because women like I think the emotional vulnerability and ability to connect and understanding or being in touch with your emotions seems to be very important to women. Life experiences and wisdom. Some women want a man that they can learn from, right? Tell me if you agree. Tell me if you've seen this or felt this. Established careers and stability. Every single study, when I wrote my book, Financial Lovemaking, back when I was on the faculty at Syracuse, I became absolutely intrigued with the innate, million year evolutionary connection that women have to things that indicate security. Wealth is just a symptom, it's a symbol of security. Wealth, a person who has wealth and financial peace has the ability to enhance your emotional well-being. If you've ever been financially unstable, you know how that can really rattle you. And what I've noticed is that women tend to, not all the time, but tend to get more rattled with financial instability than men, like to the point where they get pissed off at you because you tricked off the money. If my wife wastes money or overspends at the mall, it wouldn't stress me out. I wouldn't be like, God, I can't sleep now because this lady out here. I get it, and maybe kind of, maybe I'm biased because money's not really a big problem per se, but I've noticed that like when I started reading studies about women just literally not even being able to have sex with their husbands because the money was bad, I thought that was so interesting, and I did a lot of research on that, and I was like, okay, so if we can act like money ain't supposed to matter, but that's not gonna work. I think you're getting out of alignment with nature. I really do. I really do. When you get to the point where you want to act like money doesn't matter and that a woman won't care that the man that she selected is unable to provide for her babies and protecting her babies is literally if not one of the top priorities in her life. I don't know how that's gonna work. I talked to one lady when I was doing interviews for the financial lovemaking book. And by the way, you can have the book for free. You can have an e-copy. If you go to boyceandalicia.com, boyceandalicia.com, the e-copy of the book is there. So Boyce and Alicia, just me and my wife's name. I interviewed one lady and I remember she was telling me about how she'd been saving money for her children to go to college by putting money under the bed or something in a bucket like or like dollar bills and change and stuff. And by the way, that does add up to a lot of money over if you do it consistently. So they had hundreds, if not thousands of dollars saved up under the bed, right? But she was surprised. She was kind of confused because it seemed like it wasn't growing, like it was kind of staying flat or even going down, but she's putting all this money in here.